On this episode, I'm privileged to be joined by one of the most legendary managers in British football. He spent 50 years in football, managed nearly 1,400 professional games, is the last English boss to win a major trophy, and most importantly, he gave me my debut. Welcome to the podcast, Harry Redknapp. H, thanks for doing this.
Joe,
Thanks
it's
so
a pleasure. I'll do anything for you.
Harry, so people know Harry Redknapp, the manager. I've done my research. He was a jinky winger as a player.
Yeah.
And you played with Bobby Moore. What was Harry Redknapp, the player, like? And what was Bobby like as well?
Oh, Bobby was fantastic, Joe. I was great mates with him. You know, and I went to West Ham at 15. I left school just before I was 15 back in them days.
Yeah.
And I went to West Ham. My first year there, I played in under 15. I know you played in the FA Youth Cup winning team. And that was my first season, you know, as a 15-year-old. We won the FA Youth Cup. Beat Liverpool in the final. And Bobby, I don't know, more sort of, he took to me, he liked me, and I spent a lot of time with him, you know. And he was just fantastic guy, great footballer. If you got to watch him play, you'd have come back, you said, well, have a look at this fella, Bobby Moore at West Ham, what's he like? Is he quick? You go, no, he can't run. Good in the air, no, he can't really head it. But, you know, read the game, Joe, just had a football brain. It was just incredible, you know.
A lad from East London like yourself playing for West Ham, that must have been a dream for you.
It was, yeah, but you know what, Joe? I felt you was always under more pressure being local. There was no escaping it. I found that, you know, where I lived, I'd go out and it'd always, Saturday night, if you got beat, it was, you know, it was not, I don't know, I found it harder, really.
Yeah.
Some of the lads would sort of go away from there and go to where they lived, but I think when you was right on top of it all the time, because they're fanatical, them West Ham fans, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know? But it was a great club to go to, Joe. The manager was incredible, Ron Greenwood, you know, and a great coach, and he just produced our own players like we did when I managed you. You know, we had you lads come through, 6 of you came through the youth team, all gone to become great players, played for England. It was like that under Ron Greenwood. The 3 boys who played in the World Cup final all came out the youth team.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff, Martin and Bobby, and then the whole team was really homegrown players.
Yeah.
So it was a great time to be at the club.
One of the main reasons, and not just saying it because you're here, is I signed for West Ham because of you being a manager. You were Premier League manager of West Ham at the time, and how you made me feel welcome. I remember coming in as like a 12, 13-year-old, and I'd come into the office before the game, and you'd be there with your racing post or something. And then be Frank Lampard Senior. And I was like, it was amazing for a 13-year-old. Like, and them little touches. And then all the people we had round us, like your Tony Cars, Jimmy Frith, Peter Braybrook,
lads,
you know,
Peter,
God bless him.
Great guys.
And people say to me, what was so great about West Ham for producing great players? Like, they didn't have a great training ground or anything. It was just the people, weren't it?
Yeah, good people. But I remember the first time I saw you play, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. We turned up and we played Norwich in a game at Chabelief, and you were playing and you were younger than, it was probably a year or 2 older than you even. And I stood there with Alan Seeley, who's no longer with us, who scored 2 goals in the Cup Winners' Cup final, Alan.
Yeah.
Peter Braybrook, Frank. We stood there, and after 10 minutes you were playing, and we're going, who's this kid? What? This is unbelievable. And I ain't saying that because I've never seen, you were the best young player I've ever seen. You were the best schoolboy footballer I've ever seen. I've never seen a kid with your ability who's good as you. And I used to go to Chabelief every Saturday morning, watch an hour of the first half of the game, 15 minutes second half, jump in my car, head to Upton Park. I loved the kids was the future of the club. Yeah. That's when I bought Jimmy Hampson came in, and then we got you and we got Frank, we got Michael Carrick and Rio and, you know, Glenn, Jermaine, they all came through, didn't they? And now I saw that as the future of the club, that we produced our own players. That was the history of West Ham, was about producing players who cared about the club and wanted to play for the club, you know?
Do you think Premier League managers should take more, or is the game so? I don't know, is he in and out so much? Or do you think it's important?
Still, Joe. I think they can take more interest in the kids.
Yeah.
I think when, you know, if you're looking to get good kids, you've got to show that you're interested.
Yeah.
Turn up, watch the kids play, be there. Go. Yeah. What's it cost? Go and watch a game Tuesday night at the ground, or you know, or Saturday when you've got time to get there. You might have a Sunday match. Go and watch the kids. Show the parents that you're interested in them. That's the way you're going to get the best kids to come to you.
Yeah.
But it's changed now. They train at a different place, Joe.
Yeah.
See, back in our day, you'd train
Yeah,
over there,
yeah.
we'd get an injury or something, and we'd say, "Oi, send one over, Tony, send one up, the kids
Yeah.
over, and you come home and train with the first team."
Yeah, yeah,
And it was different. Now you're at another training ground. It's lost that. And
yeah,
then you was around the senior players.
yeah.
You know, when I
So
went there, you're
important.
around Bobby, you're around Jeff and Martin Peters and all every day.
Yeah.
It was very, very different, you know.
Do you remember? Well, you might not remember. I obviously did my first game come on, and looking back now, as from a 40-year-old man's perspective, I was nervous going to play, and you just said to me, "Who's your favourite player?" And at the time, it was Franco Zola because he was the best player in the league, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And you went, "All right, just go on there and play like him." You was brilliant like that with the young players.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah.
You knew how to say the right thing at the right time,
Yeah.
and just to send us on our way.
Yeah, well, you know, it was, as I say, it was, I think football, Joe, is about confidence, isn't it?
Yeah,
Making people, you know, people, whatever job you do in your life, people, if you do an interview today and say, "Hey, it was good, Joe, well done, mate,
yeah,
brilliant." You love
yeah.
it, we all love it.
Yeah,
And I think football's no different, is it? Hey, well played today, you were brilliant, you know?
yeah,
I remember going to America with Bobby, you know, and we was out in America one night after a game, and I said, "You were amazing." And he played in the game, he was unbelievable out in the state. He said, "You know, Harry, all the years I played at West Ham, Ron never said well done to me."
Really?
He said, "Probably because I was a captain, England captain, he
Yeah.
probably thought I didn't need it." He said, "But we all need a pat on the back.
Yeah.
We all need a well done. It makes you feel," and that was something I thought was important, you know?
yeah. I did definitely important. Jose was similar to that.
Yeah.
I got, I bumped into him the other day, and I rarely got a well done. Like you'd have to be like something like scored a winner against Man United or
Yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
before he'd even give you a little tap.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
So there's all different
Yeah,
ways
yeah,
of managers.
yeah.
But I think when I go into it at some point, and I pick your brains constantly when we're chatting, when I go and have a go at it someday, I think I'll be more like how you did it
Yeah,
rather than anyone
I think
else.
people respond to it,
Ancelotti.
Joe.
You and Ancelotti are similar.
People respond to that. They, you know,
Yeah.
take an interest in people, take an interest in the kids at the club, ask them how they're doing. You know, I remember saying to Stevie Gerrard about when we did a thing one day, you know, and he was doing the kids at Liverpool. I said, every day, Stevie, go and have a chat with 2 or 3 of the kids.
Yeah.
See how their lives are, how they doing, how's their digs, how
Yeah.
things at home. Spend it, say, "Listen, I'm going to do it. You're doing what? I'm going to do a bit of work with you after training on something." You know, I said they'll ring their parents up. They'd say, "Hey, Stevie's had a chat with me today. He likes what I'm doing. He's done a bit extra with me today." And I said, "You can make them feel you can change their lives."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems so simple, but so many managers I know don't do it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So it's brilliant.
Joe, absolutely.
So you played West Ham. West Ham was your club. You managed them to great success, and then it ended, and you ended up at Portsmouth, and you got a promotion, and you put a great team together there as well.
Yeah, my first year at Portsmouth I went in there and I didn't really see it as a job I wanted, Joe, to be truthful. When I went there with Milan Mandrick, I thought, I've got no chance here, really, you know? And he said, "If you don't take the job, I'm going to pack it up. I'm going back to Slovenia, whatever." And I took it and looked at the team and I thought, and I signed Paul Merson 2 days before the season started, and he changed everything for me.
Yeah.
He came in, I let him play number 10. I let him have a day off on Monday, maybe even he'd come in Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He lived in the Midlands.
Yeah.
I let him play number 10, play free, get on the ball, Merce. I built a team around him, really, Joe.
Yeah.
Played with 3 at the back. I played with 2 midfield players, and I played Merce in as a spare, you know, a bit like old Berkovitz played as well, you know. And he was fantastic for me. He changed everything, really.
Yeah, what do you think of that then? Like, because we played a 3 at West Ham, and you get, you know, Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte coming over, and it's like they've invented tactics when really we were doing that 20-odd years ago.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Do you think English managers get a fair crack of it?
No, I don't. I think they're a genius. We played that way at West Ham.
Yeah.
You know, Trevor Sinclair had played there for me for a while as a right wing back, and you know, that was a system we played. And I went to Portsmouth and played that way all year. Never changed it. I played with 3 at the back. I took a boy called Matty Taylor at left back from Luton.
Yeah.
50 grand, and he was fantastic. And I played
Great.
Steve Stone.
Yeah.
Steve Stone, I took from Aston Villa, took him on a free. He bombed up and down the right for me.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So that was a system that and I love that. I like the system. And Conte played that way at Juventus. When he first came to Chelsea, I said he'll play that way, and he never. And they had some bad results early on, a few dicky results. Then he went back to what he'd played there and never looked back, really. They ended up winning the league. And yeah, I love it's a system I like, Joe. We get a penalty. I didn't care who scored, Joe, at that stage. I just didn't want to go back to Portsmouth. I was scared. I thought, I don't care if they score, we score, someone scored. Please, no replay. And we get a penalty, and Crouchy picks the ball up. And I'm going, no, not Crouchy, no. He said, you didn't exactly fill me with any confidence, Harry, when you were doing that. Well, anyway, he scored. And oh, my God.
Our good friend Crouchy, we interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how important you was for him. He actually said, I think get the quote right, he don't think, when you took him, I think the second time, and he said he was in a low point, and he owed a lot to you. I mean, do you take great pride in that? You seem to find a knack of finding players that others didn't want or wasn't working, and you could build them up. I think that's one of your biggest skills.
Yeah, I took Crouch, as I say, the chairman, you know, at the time felt that he was a waste of money for £1 million, and then after I had him a year and we sold him for 5 million, 5.5 million, he said how fantastic he was. And so, but no, I love Crouch. We had him. I met him the other week, Joe. We played. One funny story. I've gone to Southampton, right? Which ain't a clever move from Portsmouth.
Yeah.
They hate each other.
I know.
So I've only been there about 2 weeks. I'm getting pelters now from the Pompey fans. I've left them where they absolutely love me there. And I've gone to Southampton, had a row with Mandrick, walked out, FA Cup draw. Who did we draw? Southampton, Portsmouth. I thought, oh my God, no. Lucky enough, it was at home.
Right.
So we play, and there's 10 minutes to go. It's 0-0. We get a penalty. I didn't care who scored, Joe, at that stage. I just didn't want to go back to Portsmouth. I was scared. I thought, I don't care if they score, we score, someone scored. Please, no replay. And we get a penalty, and Crouchy picks the ball up. And I'm going, no, not Crouchy, no. He said, you didn't exactly inspire him, fill me with any confidence, Harry, when you were doing that. Well, anyway, he scored. And oh, my God. But no, I love Crouchy. What a boy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so you go back to Portsmouth, and I think that's when you really, I mean, how was you feeling, H, when that phone call comes? So you've been at Southampton, and then you go back to Portsmouth. I mean, a lot of people would have think you're mad taking that
I was
job.
mad, Joe. I was mad. I've gone to I've left Portsmouth, where I've just got manager of the month that month.
Yeah.
Gone to Southampton, getting pelters from the Pompey crowd, and I lived on the water down where I live, and they used to come past on fishing boats and all shout abuse at me. There was no escape in my back garden. You Judas, they shout at me. I used to go and run in. I was scared, you know. And so, yeah. Now, next thing, I'll get a phone call. Chelsea play Portsmouth, beat them 4-0 or something. Frank Lampard goes to the games. Frank Senior.
Yeah.
Goes in the book, gets invited in the boardroom after. He said, Harry, he's on his way home. He said, Harry, I went in the boardroom after the game. Milan Mandrick come over, and I said, struggling, aren't you, Milan? He said, yeah, we're going to get relegated. Frank said, why don't you get Harry back? No, he won't. He come back. He don't like me anymore. He said, he won't come back. Frank said, well, why don't you ask him? So Frank rang me. He said, would you go back? I said, yeah. So then, anyway, next night, I'm round Milan's flat in meeting him, anyway. So, I'm sneaking up in his flat to have a meeting with him. Suddenly, I'm gone. I'm back to Portsmouth. Bottom of the league, desperate trouble. Dejan Stevanovic, who was my captain, great guy, he said, Gaffer, you're mad. Why you come back here?
Yeah.
This is the worst team you've ever seen. They've sold everybody. They've brought all poor players in. Anyway, I went out and got 3 players from Tottenham. Pedro Mendes, Sean Davis, Noe Pamero.
Yeah.
And a loaned boy called D'Alessandro, who was amazing. So I go back there, and anyway, we end up, first game, we get beat at Villa. The Pompey fans in there got the umps because I went. Judas, you know, I thought, oh my God, I could see myself getting relegated, and that would be the end.
What have I done at that point?
Yeah, I thought that would be the end for me.
Yeah.
We get beat 5-1 at Birmingham, who were 6 points in front of us. There's 3 teams cut adrift. They're 4th from bottom. They're 6 points clear of us and beat us 5.
Oh, God.
And then we went on a run. I don't know, it come from somewhere. We went on a run and got 21 points from the last 10 games and stayed up.
That team playing against it was you that you eventually developed when you got Defoe in and Crouch. And
Lasana Diarra.
What a player he was.
£4 million I paid for him from Arsenal.
Yeah.
Sold him for 25 million to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Sully Montari.
Yeah.
Went to Milan from Portsmouth. So I mean, I had a team. Sel Van Distan.
Yeah.
Sol Campbell.
Yeah.
Glenn Johnson.
Yeah.
Jamo in goal.
So winning the FA Cup for a manager and someone from your era and that must have been a special moment.
It was, Joe. Yeah, it was fantastic for me to win the FA Cup. You know, and I had a great time back at Portsmouth. And I turned 2 or 3 big. Yeah, I agreed to take the Newcastle job at that time, and then changed my mind right at the last minute. I was going to go, and I'm happy at Portsmouth, and I decided not to go. Then I got offered the Tottenham job. I went and met Daniel Levy, 2 nights running around his house, and he was begging me to take the job. And I didn't take it. I said, you've got Martin Yole's done all right. I don't feel it's a good appointment. He hasn't done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It won't be a popular appointment, you know. Let's leave it. And I left it, didn't take it. And then about 18 months later, we came back in. We were playing in Europe at Braga in the UEFA Cup. And I'm sitting on the coach next to Milan Mandrick. My phone goes, it's Daniel Levy. Hello, Harry, Daniel. And I'm sitting next to my chairman. Right? Oh, how you going, mate? All right? He goes, is it all right to talk? I'm going, nah, not really. No, just in Braga. No, just on the coach with my chairman going back to the airport, you know. Oh, OK. And I went round his house that night, got back and went round and ended up going back to Tottenham.
I mean, if I remember rightly, Tottenham at that time were in a relegation zone.
Yeah.
And really underachieving. I mean, what did you change?
I think,
what was the first thing you had to do with that group of players?
Give them a bit of belief, Joe. Good players. You know, Gareth Bale hadn't been on a winning team in 28 games or so. He'd never played on a winning team. Yeah. Every time he come on, he didn't win. He'd never been on a winning team, whether he was sub or started. Luka Modric was a left winger. I said, I'm going to play him central. He said, he can't play there. He'll get murdered. He's not strong enough. I said, he can play anywhere. He's fantastic. I stuck him in the middle and pushed Bale from left back to left winger, you know? And we had good players. I was lucky, Joe. We had good players, you know. That was the key, really. Good players. Yeah, getting the best out of them.
Would you say, that was the best team you'd managed? Tottenham side?
Yeah, good players.
Getting into the Champions League, had great nights in Milan.
Winning at Man City, beating Man City to qualify for the Champions League was fantastic. They were great, good players. Good, and we finished 4th the year I lost my job. We finished 4th when Chelsea won the Champions League. They finished 6th and won the Champions League. Yeah, and I went to the game. The worst thing I ever done, Joe. Oh, God. I went to the game with Jamie. He said, come and watch the game. We'd finished 4th. Yeah. The only way we could not is if I thought they won't win in Munich, Chelsea. They won't beat you know, Bayern Munich at home. I thought, no, they won't win. I'll go to the game. When I walked out after the game, I walked past all the Chelsea fans and they're all singing Thursday night, Channel 5, Thursday night, Channel 5. It was horrendous.
You would have given Chelsea fans just the best night ever. So they've just qualified for the Champions League.
I know.
And subsequently knocked Tottenham into the Europa League. And then they see the Tottenham manager walking past when they've been on the booze all day.
They gave me pelters. It was brilliant, really, But no, it was a bad night, Joe, I must have. I went back to the hotel and went straight to bed.
It was only then, I thought, that people started really sort of putting a respect on your name as a manager that you deserve. And then the England thing comes calling. And then this was 2012, just before 2012, because I think Fabio had walked away.
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't played for England since 2010. I don't know if you remember this, but I bumped into you in a restaurant, Smith's.
In Smith's Treasury.
I was playing in France, but we had a day off.
Yes.
And it was a talk about when you was going to become England manager. You thought you had the job. You thought you had the job. And I remember you telling me, I think I'm going to get the job.
Yeah.
And you're going to be back in, Joe. Because you come over to watch me in France. Well, he was watching Hazard's. You said, I know you've been playing well, back to performing. And I was thinking, what a meal this is. I've come out. And the new England manager told me I'm going to be back.
Yeah.
So we went back to the table. You come and spoke to me mum and dad, and I think we had a glass of champagne. We were celebrating.
yeah.
I woke up the next morning.
I know.
And it was Roy who got the job.
I know.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, no, everybody was ringing me from people from the FA, the League Managers Associations. They said, look, you got the job, Harry, it's your job, you know. And my decision then was, do I start Tottenham, where I had a good team, or do I take the England job, you know? And in the end, it didn't happen. And so, no, it was, and at the end of the season, I lost my job as Tottenham manager and finished 4th Champions League, but then Chelsea winning it, we didn't qualify, so.
Yeah. Was that a regret? Not managing, not a regret,
I would love
Harry.
to have done it.
I think you've been perfect
I'd love
for
to
it.
have done it, Joe. Yeah, it would have been a great opportunity for me, you know. It was,
Yeah.
but at least, you know, listen, I've been lucky, Joe. I've managed so many good teams, good clubs, good players.
Harry, great talking to you. I've got some quick fire questions
Okay.
for you. If you had to bet your life on someone to score a penalty, who would you have to take it?
Any era?
Any era.
Oh, Matt Letizia.
Yes. If there's one moment you could go back in your career and change, what would it be?
Probably writing something nasty about Terry Brown, the West Ham chairman at the time, in a fanzine.
Yeah.
That unfortunately, even worse, he'd read, and that was probably the end of me there.
What one moment of your career would you go back and relive, for player or manager?
I think, you know, making your debut is always special, Joe. And I played in the youth team on the Saturday. On the Monday night, I was in the first team against Sunderland.
Yeah.
So making your debut is always a special day, isn't it?
What would you have been if you weren't a footballer? I think I've heard you answer this before.
I'd have worked in the docks.
Yeah.
With my dad, yeah. That was the only chance. I had completely uneducated, Joe, unfortunately. And that my dad worked in the docks all his life. My uncles, my granddads, everybody were just all dockers in the East End, you know.
Harry, you'd have started in the docks. You'd have ended up running the docks. Don't worry about that.
I'd end up owning a shipping company or something.
Export and import. Harry Redknapp, you'd have been all right. What's the best atmosphere you've ever witnessed?
Oh, but dear. I always think going to Anfield, Joe.
Yeah.
I think there's nowhere like going to Anfield. The crowd, when they sing, I mean, you know, you never walk alone. It just makes the hair stand. You played there.
Yeah.
Make the hair stand up in the back of your neck, doesn't it? It's just incredible,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Who's the best player you've ever managed?
Difficult, really. Gareth Bale was fantastic
special
in that
player.
spell where I had him.
Yeah.
He was just unplayable, Joe. He's picking out, running 90 yards with the ball.
Yeah.
Murdering people, you know, just no one could stop him, could they? Luka Modric was a great footballer.
Yes.
He was up my, I loved him. You know. He was special, Joe. I love Luke. Probably, you know, Luka was. I loved the way he played, and you know, he had eyes in the back of his head, didn't he? He had vision and.
Yeah. 5 Champions Leagues.
Get on the ball, make it. Yeah, I love Luka.
Harry,
Great talking to you, Joe.
Always a pleasure.
I love you, Joe, and it's
Love you
great
too.
talking to you.
BT Sport Pods.